it's Nikki from Nikkililly. So as you can tell from the title, today I'm going to be answering your assumptions of me that you sent in on my Instagram. And if you would like to take part in any other assumptions videos or Q&As or just any other videos that I do in the future, or just keep up to date with me in my more daily life, then make sure to follow me on my Instagram. It is Nikkililly_, 2 Ks, 2 Ls. I'm going to be doing some normal makeup, but then I'm also going to be trying out something super exciting. It is the new Jeffree Star x Shane Dawson collection. Let's just see where this makeup look takes me, and let's play with some makeup and answer some questions. So this is just my green LA Girl Pro Conceal colour corrector. Love this. It has a brush on it, so it makes it so much easier to apply. And this is the mirror, by the way. I'm obsessed with this packaging. This mirror is huge. Colour corrector is on, and while I blend that in, let's answer the first assumption. Let's do this one. Okay. You get anxious sometimes. I got quite a lot which were kind of about mental health and if I got anxious quite a lot. I do get really anxious. Yeah, that is true. That's a true assumption. I think that I've always been quite an anxious child even before I got my condition. And ever since I've got my AVM, I've just become a super anxious person. I'm just such a worrier. Like, if there's something that someone could worry about, I probably worry about it. I worry about everything, you know, from tiny things to big things. And I think, you know, everyone has a little bit of worrier in them. But basically, yeah, I do get quite anxious, probably more anxious than the average person does. There's always just going to be constants in your life that give you anxiety. And then there'll be other things that aren't constants that will give you anxiety. There are so many different things that you can do. Obviously, speaking to someone is one thing. Oh my gosh, my skin is dry today. If you can't speak to someone, you can always do some mindfulness. There are so many amazing apps out there and videos on YouTube. I think it definitely starts with telling someone if you can, because just that weight off your shoulder makes all the difference. Now let's do concealer. So the two that I'm using are the Revolution Conceal and Define under my eyes and the It Bye Bye Under Eye Full Coverage something concealer, which goes on my eyelids to prime them and just conceal any veins that I have, just so I have a nicer, smoother base. So what I just do is just squeeze a little bit of the concealer out and just dab that onto my eyes. I'm loving this mirror so much. Oh my gosh. Literally my new favourite thing. I've never had a handheld mirror like this, but I'm loving it. Shall I pretend to be Jeffree Star, but say it in a different way? Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, right, let's blend that one in first. It doesn't completely conceal everything, but it just makes it a lot smoother. And it's just the perfect eyeshadow primer, actually. If you can't afford buying Tarte Shape Tape every time you run out of it, then this is such a great dupe for it. It's like a really similar consistency and coverage, and it's great. And while I blend that in, let's answer another question. Ooh, this is an interesting one. You went on Junior Bake Off to boost your YouTube channel. Oh, so if you guys didn't know, and you didn't find me through Junior Bake Off, I was on a show in 2016 on CBBC, which is basically a children's TV channel owned by the BBC. It's basically a baking show, but for kids. It's like a competition, and I actually won that when I was 12 years old. And actually, I wanted to go on Junior Bake Off before I even had a YouTube channel. I'd watched it ever since the first episodes and the first series came out on CBBC, and it had always been my dream to go on it. And after I got diagnosed with my condition, that determination was even more apparent when I got diagnosed, because I was baking even more, I was getting even more independent when I was baking, and I was just getting better really. But I never thought I was good enough to go on, and one day my auntie actually just, you know, persuaded me to apply, and she said, you know, Nikki, what are you losing from it? You're not losing anything from applying. You'd be losing more if you didn't apply, because you would never know where you would have gotten. And I'm very lucky that I decided and ended up applying, because otherwise obviously I wouldn't be the winner of Junior Bake Off. You know, my YouTube channel was my hobby and baking was my hobby, and obviously it was great if I got more followers from Junior Bake Off, which I did, and more fans from Junior Bake Off, which I did. But I never wanted to go on Junior Bake Off because I thought that it would positively impact and grow my channel. And I think if that would be the case, then I think that would be the wrong reason to go on. I went on because it was the biggest dream of mine and the biggest passion of mine, and I think if you go on a competition or something like that with the wrong motives, then you actually won't do as well as you would if you just went on there because you have a passion and a drive and a determination for whatever you're doing, and that is purely why I went on. Now onto foundation. I'm actually using 3 at the moment. I love this combination so much. I love how it looks on my skin. So I'm using the Benefit Hello Happy foundation in the shade 3, the It Cosmetics CC Cream in Light, and the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in 6.5. I would always not be wearing the foundation that I wanted to because I could never find one that I liked. They'd always be too matte or too dark or too light or too dewy, or just didn't look good on my skin. But I've actually finally found a combo. I mean, it is 3 foundations, which is a lot. Next assumption is you barely go to school. So guys, I go to, a lot of you guys think I'm homeschooled. Firstly, I'm not homeschooled. I go to a public school, which is a mixed school of boys and girls. Actually, I go to school 5 days a week unless I, mainly unless I'm ill, really. I barely miss school for TV things, and if I do, it will not be more than like a day. Another assumption is that I don't like school. I do like school. I just find the early starts, I mean, I think everyone could say they don't like the early starts, but for me, they're a bit harder than the average teenager because my AVM does make me more tired than an average teenager would get. And so the early starts grate on me a little bit more and impact me a little bit more because I get more tired than an average teenager. It sounds weird, but I do feel lucky to go to school because when I was younger, I barely got to school because I was so unwell. And so the fact that I actually am getting to school is a big deal for me. And obviously sometimes I don't like school, and I think everyone wishes that, you know, they could just stay at home and do work when and if they wanted to. It's fun learning about new things, it's fun learning about the world, and so I enjoy learning. Overall, no, I don't not like it. I am using my Laura Mercier powder. Love this so much. It's loose, so if I ever travel with it, it's the messiest thing to try and put on, like in a car or on a train or anything like that. So if I'm ever using this, I make sure that I apply it before I leave the house. I just lightly dust this all over my skin just to mattify the areas that can get a bit oily, so like, you know, my forehead, around my nose, my T-zone. And I don't put a lot of this on because I don't really like the overly matte powdery look, which suits some people, but on me it just doesn't look quite right. So I just dust it over so that I just don't get oily as soon as I leave the house. For bronzer, I'm going to be using Benefit Hoola and answering the next assumption, which is that I'm rich. I'm not rich. I always seem to get asked this, or like, I always seem to get this assumed about me whenever I ask for your guys' assumptions. I think because I have like one designer bag, which is my Balenciaga one, which I like put on my Instagram in some of the photos, I think a lot of you guys think I'm rich, and that bag was gifted, by the way. I could not afford to buy that for myself. But no, I'm not rich. I probably make a little bit more money than the average teenager my age, which I'm really grateful that, you know, YouTube and TV on the side can make me a little bit of money for me to save up for my future for and treat myself and my family and my friends to with every so often. But I'm not rich at all. My family's not rich. For a blush, I'm going to be using the MAC Peachy Keen blush. It's such a pretty colour. It's kind of like a corally blush with a nice bit of shimmer in it, so it looks so nice on the cheeks. I like to kind of dab this on because I have made the mistake of putting way too much of this on before and it did not look great, so I just dab this on now. But it's so pretty. It's the perfect colour and the perfect amount of shimmer. I don't know if you guys can see because I put it on quite lightly, so it's kind of just like a flush and a glow. But yeah, I love it. I loves it. Now I'm going to do highlighter, and this is the Oprah. This is the Ofra Madison Miller collab highlighter in Moon Dance. I'm just going to fan that onto my cheek. Don't you love it when your makeup bag falls on the floor? Ah, so pretty. Okay, Okay, now on to brows and then on to the fun stuff. I'm using one of my favourite products at the moment, which is the Benefit Gimme Brow in 3.5. I love this. Honestly, it makes my brows look like I've spent ages on them when I just haven't. So many of you guys love the juicy questions about whether or not I have a boyfriend. I seem to answer this in every Q&A and every assumptions, but you guys still want updates on if I have one. I still don't. And I also got asked quite a few times if I've had my first kiss yet. That is for me to know, guys. No, I haven't had my first kiss yet. And do you know what? I feel like everyone has their first kiss at a different point in their life. You know, some people are 21 and still haven't had their first kiss. Some people are 12 and have had their first kiss. And I mean, 12 is a bit young, don't get me wrong, but I don't feel like there should be any pressure on having your kiss like too early or too late. I feel like it's kind of like your first kiss is a bit like your period. You know, everyone wants to have it and there's so much pressure, I feel, that you put on yourself to try and have that. And if you don't have it until you're older, then that's totally fine. At the moment, it's important for me to love myself. Oh, now we get on to the eyeshadow. I'm so excited. So this is the Conspiracy palette, which is the big palette, which has 18 eyeshadows. And what I love about this is that on this row, it's all neutrals, and you could create a really nice day or night natural smoky eye with this row. And then here we have the more bright colours, which again you could do a colourful smoky eye or just like a bright and colourful makeup look with. Again, you've got your 3 mattes and 3 shimmers. And then the bottom row is kind of like a little bit of everything. It's a bit bright, but it's not as bright as the middle row, and it's a bit neutral, but obviously nowhere near as neutral as the top row. And so this is a really nice kind of like brighter smoky eye line. Okay, and then we have the Mini Controversy, which has 9 shades. And out of the 2 palettes, I would say that Conspiracy is my fave, and I think that's the case for quite a few people, just because the colours in here are a bit less my vibe, but there's still a lot you could do in here, because obviously you have Diet Root Beer. Diet Root Beer is in both of them. My Boyfriend's Purse, Cry on My Couch, especially these 3 shades here that are quite bright that you couldn't really use daily. I mean, if you wanted to, obviously you could, but for the average person, they'd find them a little bit harder to work with. I think I want to go for a sort of pinky, orangey, reddy, yellowy look. I don't know actually what I'm doing, guys, but let's just see. Okay, so I think I'm going to start off by going in with quite a neutral colour. So I think I'm going to start off with going with My Pills, which is like a neutral colour, but a bit more pinky toned. I'm just going to run that through my crease. Oh, it's actually really pigmented for like a really light pink. So just put that all the way through. I think I actually want to go for the shade Pigment, but I want to get a different brush because I want something that's going to pack it on a little bit more and blend it less. And I'm going to go for this shade Pigment, which is just like a bright pink. And I'm just going to tap that in the centre and just... Wow, look at that colour payoff! Woo! So far there has been no fallout, which I thought there might be underneath the eyes because they're so pigmented. I mean, there is a little bit of fallout when you there's quite a bit of eyeshadow dust that comes off when you tap the excess off the brush, but in terms of when I actually apply the eyeshadow and blend it, there's no fallout so far, so I'm pleasantly surprised about that. So I'm just going to blend the pink lightly on the centre of my eye. I'm kind of like packing it and blending it at the same time. So from the Mini Controversy, I'm going to be using the shade Exposed here, which is kind of like a candy floss pink, but a bit cooler and a bit lighter, and maybe a tiny bit purpley. Okay, maybe not a candy floss pink, but it's kind of candy floss pink colour. And I'm going to do the same thing, but do it on the inner corner of my eye, so just here. So obviously this won't be as pigmented because it is much lighter than the shade Pigment. See, now I can't think of the word pigment except thinking of it as like pig-ment because of what Shane and Jeffrey named the last shade I used. Now let's go in with... let's go in with the orange. Next assumption. You are self-conscious about your face. I am self-conscious about my face, especially when I go somewhere new I get particularly self-conscious. I would love to say that I don't get self-conscious about my face, but unfortunately I do. I think it's because, you know, I do struggle with being a teenager and having a face that is not what society thinks is normal, and it isn't normal, you know. My face does look different to what an average human's face looks like, even though, you know, obviously we are all unique and different, and I do struggle with that because some days I do just want to blend in. And you know, there is that quote, why blend in when you were born to stand out, and that is the most true thing I've ever heard. But some days you just do want to blend in when you get stared at every time you go out, you know. And so there are days where I do wish that I did just blend in, because it does get hard when every time you go outside you know that you're just going to have someone staring at you. Everyone in the world looks different, and although I am getting gradually a tiny bit better every day, you know, it's baby steps, I do have my slip-ups and my bad days where I think, oh, why can't I just look like everyone else, you know? So now I'm going to go in with Flaming Hot, and I'm just going to blend that on the outer corner. So amazing that there's no fallout. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just go in with a little bit of concealer and just clean up this wing here, because I think I've decided that I want it to be a wing, but obviously when you work with eyeshadow, things aren't the most crisp, so I just like to go in with a bit of concealer and just clean up as I go along. I want to do a little bit of like a cut crease on my lid. I'm awful at cut crease, like awfully bad, but I just want to try. So I'm just going to go over with some concealer on my lid, and then I want to put like a shimmery shade on the centre of my eyelid. Pop the concealer down. I'm going in with Diet Cola, by the way, guys, the shimmery silver. It's gorgeous, but I feel like it could do with a bit more pop. So I'm just going to add a little bit of setting spray to the brush, and hopefully that will make the shadow look totally different on my eyelids. That's a bit better. It just makes it look a lot more metallic and shimmery. So now what I'm going to do to just finish off my eyes is put a little bit of this highlighter in my inner corners, just to make my inner corners pop. Shane has also brought out a set of 6 liquid lipsticks in this amazing pig container. So this is the lid, and then you take it off. This is also so luxurious as well. I love how you can like have somewhere to hold them and store them. So inside you have 6 of them. You have 3 shimmery chromy ones, and you have 3 matte ones with no shimmer in them. I would love to use that one, but because I just think that this shade, which is I've Got to Go, will go better with the look, I'm going to go with that today. That is so pretty. I've not actually swatched this. This kind of looks like it would be gorgeous on your eyelids, and you actually can use Jeffree's liquid lipsticks on your eyes, so maybe even one day I'd use this on my eyes because it's such a pretty colour. Look at that, it's so stunning. I'm nervous, I've never used a shade like this on my lips before. It's so pretty. I don't think I would go out with this, but I love it. When you look at it, it just looks really intimidating as a shade, but when you put it on, it's beautiful. I feel like any skin tone could use this, and that's actually what I really like about this set, is that I feel like any skin tone could use this. Right, so let's finish off by answering one more assumption. I just need to find my phone under all of these palettes. Okay. Here it is. You block out the haters. Let's finish on that, shall we? I do get hate comments. You guys just sometimes don't see them because... Oh my gosh, I forgot mascara. Right, let me answer this while I put on mascara. I'm so glad that I remembered that. I thought my eyes looked a bit funny, and I think that's why. You know, I do think that everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and obviously people are curious that I look different. But there's a right way and a wrong way to talk about, you know, people who look different and ask them why they look different. And I think a lot of people are quite uneducated as to how to ask people why they look different. Do I block out the haters? No. Am I more immune to them than I was when I first started? 100%. When I first started YouTube, the hate would really get to me. I don't know why I let it. I think when you're younger, you know, things like that do get to you a lot more. And I just found it really hard because I would take those things personally. Whereas now, like, unless it's a really, really horrible comment where, I mean, it's quite sad that people have the time in their life to comment things like that. You know, things like "you're ugly," which used to get to me a lot more, get to me less now because I've heard it so many times. It's kind of like, babe, come up with a new thing if you want to make me feel bad about myself. So that is it, everyone. That is it for this rambly, jam-packed video, which is a mishmash of everything from reviewing Shane and Jeffrey's new collection to just doing my makeup and chatting with you guys to answering your assumptions. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please smash the thumbs up button if you did. I've been filming from 4 and it's now 6:30, so I'd really appreciate it if you guys supported me and commented down below and turned on your post notifications so you get a little notification every time I post a video so that you guys can be the first one to see it, which I know you guys love. Every time I post, it's like first. So yeah, make sure you turn them on and you subscribe, which really does help me out so that I can create more content for you guys, and it really just, you know, it helps to have a lovely community like you guys when I'm doing my videos. Thank you so much for watching. It means the world. I hope you guys are having a really good day, whatever you're doing. Let me know down below what other videos you'd like to see and how you guys are. I really want my YouTube channel to be a place of love and support and just chat, really. I really want you guys to support one another as well. Yeah, I love you guys and thank you so much for watching. Bye, everyone. Mwah.